Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm downstairs in the basement and I have like a kitchenette area that we very rarely use. And I have, Zeke, leave it. I have designated this downstairs here as my indoor gardening area. So I kind of got stuff everywhere. Seeds on top of seeds. But I wanted to show you guys what I found at Walmart. I know that they sell red wigglers in the bait section. So, look at that. Can you see that? $30 red wigglers. This was like $3, okay? And then I also got 18 Canadian Nightcrawlers. And I think these were even cheaper. These were like $2.50. So that is my plan to get my worm bin started. I was in a live not too long ago and somebody had commented that they started their worms in a little like shoebox type container, and they started it with 7 at a time. Okay, and then every so often those 7 would multiply, but they kept them in the small little shoebox type containers. I was like, that's pretty cool, you know. So I'm gonna use these little tubs, these wash tubs, these dish pans that I got from the Dollar Tree. I got 3 of these. So I actually have 4. There's another one right here. I have 4. So the plan is to split these up, and I will probably need more because I have 30 red wigglers, and this is a very small space and you have to give worms a lot of space. So I'm going to probably put 10 wigglers, 10 in each of these, 10 Nightcrawlers. Well, there's 18 in the Canadian, so I'll put 9 and 9. And then I will need 3 bins for the red wigglers because those will be 10 each. So I'll put 10 each on the red wigglers because there's 30. And I'll put 9 each on the Nightcrawlers because there's 18. So I'll need 3, 4, 5. I have 4 here, and then I have an extra one upstairs. So I'm good. Now, what I want to do is I want to take my bedding, my shredded paper that I have for my bedding. I don't know if you guys, sorry about that. I don't know if you guys watched my previous video, but I got a paper shredder at the Goodwill for $2, okay? So look at this wonderful bedding that I got for my worms now. So I'm gonna put this in this little foil pan and I'm gonna wet it really good so that my worms will have a nice wet, moist, not wet, moist environment. So we get these all wet. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pour some water in there and just let it absorb. All right, so when you're starting a worm bin, they don't necessarily need food right away, but they need to have a moist environment. Air is very important, so I need to put some holes in my bottoms of my dish pans. Well, actually I probably don't. I also saw where some people have their worm bins in the house and they just monitor the moisture really well, so they don't even put drainage holes in the bottom. And I might start out like that. I'm not sure. I'll have to figure it out. But in the meantime, I'm going to get this bedding all nice and moist and ready for my worms. And then I also have just a little bit of like peat moss that I'm going to put in there, and I'm going to let them get situated and get like comfortable in their surroundings, and then I'm going to start adding food scraps. So I'm not going to add food scraps right away, not until I know that they have settled in. So I'm going to get this bedding all nice and moist and ready for my bins, and then I'll show you guys the worms. So I'm kind of just, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'll do it on this side, moving the dry stuff. The wet, moist, really moist stuff is on the bottom, and then I'm adding the peat down at the bottom where the moist stuff is at, and then covering it up. All right, I'm going to spray it down just a little bit. The peat will absorb a lot of moisture too, so just in case it's too wet down there, it'll be fine because the peat will absorb that. All right, so I got one bin here ready to go, and I'm going to start with the Nightcrawlers. Look at those beautiful worms. Look at that. $2.50, guys, at Walmart in the bait section. I don't know if I mentioned that. In the bait section. Look at this. Wow. Look at that, guys. Look how beautiful that is. It's nice and fat and juicy. Look at that. So we're gonna put 9 of them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right, so we got 9, and I'm going to add just a little bit of what is probably some castings here, just some of their bedding that were already in, to have, you know, some familiarity. Goodness, that's a tongue twister. And I'm gonna put some of that in there. These worms are beautiful, guys, beautiful. $2.50 at Walmart in the bait section. And they have them in like a cooler. And they had just stocked it. I could tell because I was in there the other day and they did not have these in the cooler. They had some above the cooler and they looked like they were on their last legs. I don't know. the container was dry. They were, you know, on top of the little refrigerator, and it was just really, it was really dry. So I was like, wow, you know, those don't look like they're gonna make it. But when I went back, they had these, and I was excited. All right, so that's the first bin. Now I'm gonna get the second bin set up, and I'll be back. All right, so we got this bottom layer here going on. We got peat, we got water. We're gonna start with the red wigglers. And I'm just putting them in one corner. See, these ones are not as big. There's a baby one there. These ones are not as big. See that? They're definitely alive though. They're wiggling, just not as big. So 10 of those. All right, there's 10 there. Now we're gonna cover it up. And spray it down. I am really gonna have to keep an eye on these because this downstairs gets pretty warm over here in this little section. So I gotta make sure that they don't dry out. All right, that should be good enough. Now I need to mark which ones are which. And what I'll do is I will cover these with either a piece of cardboard or a folded up paper bag, something to just to cover it. And what I'll do is I'll write on top of their Nightcrawler or red wiggler, whichever one. Plenty of junk mail and newspapers, all shredded up. Add some of this peat. And let's wet it down. Perfect. Let's get our 10 wigglers. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, that was a big one, 8, 9, and 10. Looks like there might actually be more than 10 left. There's a lot in here. Oh, looks like there's a lot more. I'm gonna put one more in there. 2. All right. Now we're gonna cover these guys up. You should be happy now that they're out of that little container. I've got some more space to move around. And then I'll just get the last one, and that'll be it. That'll be my 5 bins. Now I have some racks I have to set up as well. Here are the shelves that I got. And I got these at Menards. They were 12, I don't know, 12 something, a little over $12 each. And the cool thing about them is, you know, they just snap together, really simple, really easy. But then they come with these connectors, and the connectors hold the 2 shelves together. Now I only put one in the top and one in the very bottom, so I didn't put them all the way through. But I put one in the top and I put one in the bottom, and that's going to keep those shelves together. So this is where I'm keeping my worms. I originally was going to do it at the bottom, but Zeke is very curious and I don't want him messing with my worms. So I've got them up here. I put this little extra shelf that I had, wood shelf that I had in storage, across the top. These are really light, so I just needed a little extra space to fit all 5 of them up there. So and then I just wrote on here RW for Red Wiggler, and then there's 3 of those, and then over here I wrote NC and NC for Nightcrawlers. So these are my worm experiments. Hopefully they do well. I also have like some really big bins that I'm gonna probably end up, you know, transferring to once they start multiplying and whatnot. So I do have a bunch of bins for that. But this is the worm setup for right now, and it cost me what, $5 for the worms, and $5 for the bins. Everything else was pretty much free, the shredded paper and everything else I had on hand. So I've got 5 worm bins for about $10. Not bad, not bad at all. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until next time.